This accidental email reveal gives us a rare glimpse into Julia Wandelt's mindset. Does she really think she's Madeleine McCann? Or is she an opportunistic grifter? Or is it something deeper? Julia Wandelt claims she's actually Madeleine McCann and went on Sean Atwood's channel to present DNA proof. Let's analyze her appearance to see if her claims hold water.
Can you also explain how you're able to compare your DNA with Madeleine's DNA? How did you source that?
Okay, of course. So I bought like an option in lab to they sent me swabs. I took saliva from chicks, and I sent it back to them, and they made my DNA profile. And Madeleine's DNA profile is published in McCann's PJ files. These are official files from Madeleine McCann investigation. Everyone can see it. So and I just looked at this profile and looked at my profile, asked ChatGPT before what he thinks. But yeah, I thought that it's better to ask an expert, forensic DNA expert. So that's why I messaged a few of these DNA experts, and yeah, I got an answer from one of them. So yeah, and I just want to show it. And he explained there more than I did last time.
So just to clarify then, there's been no valid DNA test up until this point. That's the first thing. And the second thing, you sourced from the Portuguese police. They have Madeleine's DNA profile. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And Ron, do you have anything to add to this before Julia proceeds?
No, this is honestly, I just want to say never underestimate a Polish girl with serious intentions.
Why not call her a British girl? And why aren't they using the name Madeleine? After all, that's who she's claiming to be. These slip-ups suggest that neither Sean nor his co-host Ron truly believe that Julia is Madeleine McCann, and neither do I. But let's set them aside for now. Let's strictly focus on Julia's beliefs. Does she genuinely think she's Madeleine McCann, the British girl who isn't even the same age as Julia? Or is she a cynical grifter? Or is something else going on here?
Because, I mean, I just want to say, right, before we get into this, let me pretext this with some questions that are being asked that will be subsequently answered as we go through this. Why would they take Julia's DNA and then not want to test it, right? Could they possibly have known something? Ooh, right? Second of all, 16 odd million being spent already, right? By God, there better be a missing girl still, right? If you know something, right, about this case, and you've not been truthful about it within the whole inner workings of this, somebody's going to be in trouble, because that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And then we can go down even weirder routes, which we'll maybe wait for another night. But there's so many of you are going to have, you're going to be sat up tonight in bed going, whoa, this is mad. So yeah, there you go. There's take on it.
I also want to say that we had to, me, Ron, Sean, we had to hide like the full name of my source, our source, but yeah. Sean and Ron, they saw that he's really forensic DNA expert. They saw his full name, they saw his website, email, so they can confirm it, right?
Yeah.
Who chose the data to be analyzed? Who collected it? How was it collected? How was it interpreted? How was it presented? When expert opinions rely on scientific data, there needs to be full transparency at every step to avoid bias, mistakes, and even fraud. This so-called expert is anonymous, so we can't judge their credentials, methods, or even biases. Even if those factors are fine, the findings are only as reliable as the DNA samples they analyzed. And both of those samples came from Julia, and as you'll see, even she has doubts about their reliability. This is the same problem I have with the Lucy Letby case. Even if all the medical and statistical evidence points to her guilt, I can't fully commit to that conclusion until the raw data and methods are transparent enough for independent experts to verify. And I do have an idea for one very simple question to ask Julia which doesn't require any complicated science to settle this matter once and for all.
And the reason that we're not putting that out there just now is you would think this is Julia's ticket to every major media outlet now in the world. Okay. So with that, with the real intention for this, getting as big a story as Julia can get and as much exposure, if we put all his information out there, guaranteed one of two things will happen. The internet will come for him, right? And his company, and they'll just hound him, they'll hound him. Or he'll get food poisoning and suddenly no longer exist, okay? Because I'm not saying that's because there's a conspiracy here or some massive human transportation operation or even some big conspiratorial baby farming thing going on here. I'm just saying when you see the results, everyone's going to be shook, all right? Okay.
Can
So
you
every-
give me 2 minutes because my dog made a small mess? I have to clean it. Sorry.
Yes.
Oh my God. Go for it, Julia.
Yeah, that's
about
the joys of
talk
having
about talk about creating suspense, people. There
Yeah.
were some delays in getting Julia on the screen.
Yeah.
She's about to release the results, and her dog has
Yeah.
shat.
Listen,
Unbelievable.
when you
Kate and Jerry are her parents. She can go to her real family now. She has a brother and a sister. They're talking instead about how this is her big break and news stations are going to be interested in her now. If they genuinely believed that she was Madeleine McCann, I doubt they would be framing it this way. As far as they're all concerned, they should be sad that this proves without a shadow of a doubt that her entire life has been ripped from her. And she's been living with two people who bought her from kidnappers or kidnapped her themselves.
This is the rich tapestry of life, the ups and downs.
Yeah.
The
This is
cycle.
the Atwood School of Building live stream tension is what this is here. You know what I'm saying?
We did not script the dog poo into this, folks.
yeah.
Internet on hold for Julia's dog mess. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, listen. I'm not being funny, but I think after the runaround Julia's been getting given, I think it's about time that she had control over what pace information came out. Bless her.
Charlotte is saying even the puppy's excited.
Yeah. That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Jackie, we are all chatting ourselves.
Yeah. It's true, man. It's true.
Sending
I'm
love
back.
to
So
Julia.
sorry for that.
Okay, listen, it happens. All right, so just to remind everybody, up until everything is publicly released, you're just taking this with the Ron Swanson and the Sean Atwood seal of approval that we have used our eyes and read over all of this. It's not to do with holding information from you lovely people. I'm sure there's not one crazy person in the side chat right now that wouldn't be emailing this company and giving them a hard time or being whatever. Okay, so we're just doing our due diligence for our sources, and all will be revealed in due course. But listen, Julia, why don't you start taking us through the story? Okay, start with the minute your fingers touch the keyboard to send the initial email, and let's go from the beginning.
But what should I say? I just think that I just wanted to have an opinion from an expert.
Yeah. Well, this is
Go ahead.
no, absolutely. Carry on. No, carry on.
Yeah,
Carry on.
because it's like better than having an opinion from ChatGPT.
Yeah, of course.
So
Of course.
I just wanted to know. So maybe can you show his opinion? And I will go through this, and we can
Yeah,
read it and comment it.
Do you want to go and heart the first images you want me to use?
I'm going to jump ahead a little bit, but I'll link the entire video in the description of this one if you want to watch the full thing and see what I cut out. But once I hit play again, pay attention because this part's going to be important.
And someone, Sean or Ron, read it.
Yeah. So this is from you. It's hello. I'm writing to you to ask you for help.
Oh, hang on. Ron's broke it. Hang on.
First photo is genetic profile of one person. Second and third photos show genetic profile from a place of crime of another person. First genetic profile was created in 2024. when the other one was made in 2007. This one from 2007 is partial. Could these people be the same person or related? Could you explain it to me? Thank you. Kind regards.
And I forgot to send one picture. I also told him I prefer to not give my name, but with just one sentence. So just for you to know. And this is what I sent to him. And then I will put heart under another picture. Okay.
Okay, slow down, Julia. Slow down. Those numbers that you've got on the screen right now.
Yeah, I have to explain. I know.
People are looking at that and thinking, "What the hell?"
Okay, so these numbers that are highlighted with a yellow color, in Madeline's DNA profile match my DNA profile a little bit. I mean, one number from every single highlighted place in the same gene.
Can you make it a bit bigger, Ron, so we can see that clearly?
Yeah, we can. Yeah. This just so if anyone wants to deep dive further into these numbers were exactly what we covered in part 6. Just in case anyone's missed it or anything like that, you will be able to go
Well,
back.
they have missed it, Julia. We've got 10 times more people watching today than we have last time you spoke. So 10 times more people they're not familiar with what you've said about these numbers.
Okay, I can repeat it if you want, but give me a
Yes,
second
please.
because my dog is biting me. Jasminka, przestań. Okay, I'm back.
Thanks.
So should I go through this like the last time?
Yes, please.
Okay. So could you, Ron, show D8 on my... This is DNA profile of Madeline, and D8 is a gene where there are repeated numbers 13 and 15, and one number comes from mother, a second number comes from father.
Chimpanzees share about 99% of their DNA with humans, so when two humans compare their DNA, we should expect a lot of similarities. If you compared their entire genomes, you'd see billions of matches. But that doesn't mean the two people are related. It just means they're both human. And if they share traits like Julia and Madeline of being European, blonde, blue-eyed, there would be even more of an overlap. In other words, what we're seeing here is cherry picking. It also looks like this is the email Julia sent to the supposed expert. In other words, this is stuff she cherry picked as a non-expert. Hearing that some of Julia's DNA matches Madeleine McCann's a bit might sound shocking, but the fact of the matter is, it's totally expected, and since she has to cherry pick similarities, it also proves, without a shadow of a doubt, that she's not Madeleine McCann. So that's settled. The more interesting question, though, is does Julia really believe she's Madeleine? Is she delusional, or just seeking attention, or money? And we're about to get a huge clue. Listen closely.
And could you please show this D8 gene in my DNA profile? Where is D8? Yeah, and
11:15, was that what I saw?
Yeah, and 15 is the same. So we have...
Yeah.
We have
Got
the
it.
same 15 number. And yeah, I think everyone can see it. And now, can you show D19? We have my DNA profile, D19 gene, numbers 12 and 14. Could you show D19 in Madeline's DNA? She has 13 and 14, so 14 is the same. So I will go fast through this like the last time, and then we'll show the results I got, right? I mean,
You're fine. You're fine. Take your time. You're fine. Yeah.
Good. Okay. So could you go back to my DNA profile again? FGA 2024. So one number 20 comes from one parent, and 24 comes from second parent. Could you please show FGA gene in Madeline's DNA? FG, yeah, is the same. 2020.2 and 24. So we share one number from one parent, 24. And now, could you please show D3? Madeline has 1618 in D3 gene. Could you please show D3 in my D3 is here in my DNA profile?
So for people watching, there's a lot more people watching tonight that didn't see the previous episode. So we're just showing what's led up to Julia making the decision to get the result. And once we've set the table by going over this, which will be finished shortly, we'll be bringing you the result. So stay there, be patient.
Yeah, we just want to go through this again, just to explain. So I have D3 in D3 Gen 1718, and I forgot what Madeline had. Could you go back to D3 gene in Madeline's DNA? 1618. So we share number 18. Okay, I think that's all. Okay, so now I think this is the right time. That's all, Ron? Could you see if there is anything highlighted? Anything else?
Yeah. I think that's it.
Okay. Could you please show the picture of his answer with his email?
Yes. Here we go. You ready for this? Here we go. Sean, get ready to read this one.
Okay. So thank you for your answer. Are these 2 pages that I said they show DNA profile of a missing person?
No, not this one.
This accidental email reveal gives us a rare glimpse into Julia Wandelt's mindset. Does she really think she's Madeleine McCann? Or is she an opportunistic grifter? Or is it something deeper? Feel free to pause the video here if you want to read Julia's email, but the important thing about it, to me at least, is that Julia isn't asking anyone to lie, the way a typical grifter might. Instead, she only has one unusual request. If they can't prove she's Madeleine, at least confirm she isn't Julia Wandelt. But why would she want that? Julia might see being a kidnapping victim or an orphan as a way to escape her ordinary life. This theory fits especially when you understand that she's an aspiring musician. Her mindset could be, even if she's not Madeleine McCann, as long as she's not Julia Wandelt, she can blame hidden trauma, like a kidnapping or abandonment, rather than face her own struggles in achieving her dreams. And this isn't unusual. In fact, it wouldn't even be the first time we've seen someone like this on the channel. We've seen it before with cryptid hoaxers, UFO hoaxers, Me Too hoaxers, and victimhood hoaxers. Many, especially those with big ambitions, find it easier to pose as victims or even convince themselves that they are victims than to accept their own ordinariness and averageness when they fail. All that said, many hoaxers, even the delusional ones, and I'm still undecided on whether or not Julia is genuinely delusional, often realize they can exploit their story for the attention and profit that they crave. Listen closely to this next part to see if you can figure out if that's what's happening here.
Oh,
Okay.
This one.
okay.
I will put
Oh,
her.
yeah. Sorry, my bad. This one.
The simple answer, and this is the new information now, viewers. The simple answer is that the suspect is not the source of the DNA on the evidence, because the DNA is not fully established everywhere. However, they do match fairly well, more than I would expect at random, and a specific pattern emerges that looks like an almost certain family connection. I would look for a parent, child, or sibling. Very respectfully, Julia, did this person know the situation in full? Or
He doesn't know who I am,
Okay.
and he doesn't know who these DNA profiles belong to.
So there's no vested interest from this person to give any kind of answer at all. It was done completely without them knowing. We have looked at this, where Julia's gone to get this done. It's all above board, all verified, and this person has come back and said there is a specific pattern, more than could have occurred at random, emerging that looks like an almost certain family connection. And this person saying, look for a parent, child, or sibling.
Yeah,
And
and
just-
I want to. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, just to reiterate again, we've removed the headers, we've removed all of the contact information to prevent the internet from going and hounding this company until Julia has an opportunity to take this to a larger platform who can then, like a national news or something like this, to have it all corroborated. And that's how we're doing it. You're having the Sean and Ron seal of approval that we've seen and went all over all this. We're not gatekeeping anything. We're doing due diligence as reporters for the sources.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
So Julia, when you got this answer, how did you
Yesterday
feel?
evening.
How did
I
you
felt
feel?
so excited, but also, I mean, I have a few theories why it came as a parent, child, or sibling.
Before we get into Julia's rationalizations for the discrepancies, let's just take a quick look at this email. If you're listening on podcast mode, I'll just read it aloud. The simple answer is that the suspect is not the source of the DNA on the evidence. I'm going to pause here because a fluent English speaker would have said the source of the DNA in evidence, or the source of the DNA you provided to me. Let's keep reading. Because their DNA is not fully established everywhere. I'm going to pause again because everywhere here is written in all caps. It's possible a professional did this writing to one of their clients or patients or whatever their supposed relationship is, but it's unlikely. Let's continue reading. However, they do match fairly well, more than I would expect at random, and a specific pattern emerges that look like an almost certain family connection. When I said look there, that's deliberate because that's what's written. In other words, it's a typo or just a lack of understanding of how English works. Finally, the last sentence, I would look for a parent, child, or sibling. The grammatical errors and strange capitalization don't necessarily prove it's a fake, but they do make it more suspicious and make me put some chips on the idea that Julia is a grifter and not necessarily delusional if she was involved in its creation. However, we can't conclude that Julia wrote it because if she in fact is delusional or suffering from cognitive dissonance and really wants to be Madeleine McCann, then she might overlook or turn a blind eye to these obvious red flags and end up getting fooled by a scammer who's posing as some sort of expert. Let's continue giving Julia the benefit of the doubt as we listen on, arguing the merits of her argument is pointless anyway, because like most conspiracy theorists, she'll just shift the goalposts again. Just like she did here. Remember, the original test was supposed to prove she's Madeleine McCann, but those results didn't come back, so she's going to rationalize it. After we hear her out, I'll pose my one simple question that could end this hoax for good. And the thing is, Julia already knows the answer to it, and it's not directly tied to the DNA results themselves. So it's not subject to error, manipulation, or bias, as long as she answers me honestly.
All these theories.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So, I forgot. I also want to show the video of. Can I send you something else now?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah,
Because
of
it's
course.
very important because it's about Madeleine's DNA profile. 1 second.
I'll just clarify for viewers because there's so many questions coming in right now. So Julia had tests done first time properly, and it's come back that she's not Madeleine McCann, but the tester believes that the linkage, the pattern that is emerging, is not a random pattern, and it looks like there is certainly a family connection. It could be a parent, child, or sibling.
It's just
Julia
mad.
is gonna come back and say what her theories are.
I mean, how do you spend 16 million quid, right? And then one girl in Poland smashes it out the park. Like she's due a check from someone in the government in the UK. That's all I'm saying. Some of those funds need to go to Julia because this is it's just unreal. It's unreal.
This should have come back, if for the people who believe that Maddie's dead, this should have come back saying that there's no connection,
Oh,
there's no
there should,
pattern
yeah,
emerging, and there's no family connection.
there should be nothing. There should be there shouldn't be it's most likely a family connection. There should be none of that. Should be nothing. Should be nothing.
I sent you a link to the video, and it's very important. I don't know if you can show it if it's a link,
One moment.
because it's very important, because it will be about one of my theory, because Gonzalo Amaral said there that DNA profile of Madeline was a little bit manipulated, and he said it there. That's why this is about one of my theory, but I just wanted to show it to people first.
Sure. Yeah, you want me to play this and start for you, Julia?
I think this is the right video. Can you play it? I'm not sure. Because it's like I want to explain one of my theories. So the first of my theories is that they manipulated a little bit Madeline's McCann profile, DNA profile, and I will tell you there is large cover up from the police, and I believe everyone can see it, not only from the police, I guess. So I wouldn't be surprised if this would be the case. But well, I know. But still, I'm related to them somehow.
Julia, could you just say that theory a bit more slower for people, what you just said?
Yeah, of course I can. So first of my theories is that DNA profile of Madeleine could have been a little bit manipulated, because there is large cover up from people like police officers, I guess, like for example Operation Grange. So I believe that it could have been a little bit manipulated, and that is why my DNA profile, compared to Madeline profile, doesn't match 100%, but only like a part as a sibling or parent-child relationship.
The hallmark of a conspiracy theory is its additive nature. It never simplifies or winnows down. Instead of challenging or adapting counter evidence, it simply expands to include it, and that's what's happening here. So I'll stipulate that DNA samples could have been corrupted. Fair enough. In fact, I'll go with it since it invalidates all of Julia's proof that she just showed that she's Madeleine McCann. Who's to say that the similarities between her and Madeleine weren't the corruptions? So here's my one question for you, Julia. What's your blood type? You already know the answer. It doesn't require expert interpretation. With 1 in 4 odds, there's even a chance you might actually match Madeleine, but I'll bet you don't. For my full Madeleine McCann case analysis, click the playlist on your screen now. Until next time, stay true.